Ever wondered what happens if you stop listening to that nagging voice in your head, the one that says you're not good enough? Today, we're diving into the world of Stoicism and exploring practical exercises to silence your inner critic and boost self-improvement. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on empowering content like this. Let's start with an eye-opening insight. The ancient Stoic philosophers, some 2,000 years ago, already knew the damage that our inner voice could cause. They developed tools to manage and silence that inner critic, tools that are just as relevant today. These aren't just philosophical musings but practical exercises you can incorporate into your daily routine to improve your life. First, we need to understand the concept of the inner critic. This internal voice is a manifestation of our doubts, fears, and insecurities. It often amplifies our mistakes, blows our flaws out of proportion, and keeps us from taking risks or pursuing our goals. The Stoics, recognizing the destructive potential of this inner critic, developed ways to counteract its influence. Their approach centered around three main principles: rational thinking, acceptance of what is within and beyond our control, and the practice of mindfulness. One of the foundational exercises to silence the inner critic is what the Stoics called the Dichotomy of Control. This idea, articulated by Epictetus, encourages us to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. For example, we can't control other people's opinions, the weather, or the passage of time. However, we can control our responses, actions, and choices. By focusing on what we can influence, we free ourselves from the anxiety and self-criticism that comes from obsessing over the uncontrollable. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation. Instead of worrying about how your audience will react, which is beyond your control, shift your focus to how well you've prepared in your delivery, which are within your control. Another Stoic exercise is the practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils. It sounds counterintuitive, but by imagining the worst-case scenario, we can reduce the power of our inner critic. When you confront your fears head-on, they lose their ability to paralyze you. For example, if you're afraid of failing an exam, visualize what failing would actually mean. You might realize that while it would be disappointing, it's not the end of the world. You can always retake the test or find another path to success. This exercise can help you build resilience and calm your inner critic. The third exercise is Amor Fati, which means the love of fate. This principle encourages us to embrace everything that happens to us, good or bad, as necessary and beneficial. It's about accepting your life as it is and seeing every event as an opportunity for growth. When you encounter a setback, instead of criticizing yourself, view it as a lesson. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." By embracing his failures, he silenced his inner critic and eventually succeeded in inventing the light bulb. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of mindfulness through the practice of Memento Mori, which means, remember, you must die. This isn't meant to be morbid. Rather, it's a way to remind ourselves of the impermanence of life. By keeping our mortality in mind, we can gain perspective on our problems and silence the inner critic that tells us we're not living up to our potential. For instance, if you're dwelling on a minor mistake you made at work, remembering that life is short can help you let it go and focus on more meaningful pursuits. Another powerful Stoic exercise is self-reflection, which involves taking time each day to reflect on your actions and thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, practiced this by writing in his journal. He would review his day, consider what he did well, and think about what he could improve. This habit helps you become aware of your inner critic and recognize patterns in your thinking. By understanding these patterns, you can start to challenge and change them. The exercise of role ethics is also essential in Stoic practice. This involves considering the various roles you play in your life, such as parent, friend, employee, or citizen, and reflecting on how you can fulfill these roles to the best of your ability. When faced with a critical inner voice, ask yourself if you are living up to the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance in your roles. For example, if you're feeling down about your performance at work, think about how you can embody wisdom and courage to improve. rather than letting the self-criticism take over. A fantastic Stoic technique for silencing the inner critic is the view from above. This exercise asks you to imagine yourself looking down on your life from a great height, seeing yourself as part of the larger whole. This perspective can help you see your problems in context, making them seem less significant. For instance, if you're stressing over a missed deadline, viewing it from above can help you realize that, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a small hiccup. The Stoics also use dispassionate analysis to counteract the inner critic. This exercise involves examining your thoughts and emotions without judgment. When you notice self-critical thoughts, instead of getting caught up in them, observe them objectively. Ask yourself if these thoughts are based on facts or assumptions. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm terrible at my job," evaluate the evidence. Are there facts to support this thought, or is it just an unfounded belief? This kind of analysis can help you identify and challenge negative patterns in your thinking. Gratitude practice is another Stoic exercise that can help silence the inner critic. By regularly reflecting on what you're grateful for, you can shift your focus from what you perceive as lacking or wrong to what is abundant and right in your life. For instance, jot down 3 things you are grateful for each day. This simple practice can help you develop a more positive outlook and reduce the power of your inner critic. The exercise of voluntary discomfort is a more challenging Stoic practice, but can be incredibly effective. This involves deliberately putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to build resilience and reduce the fear of discomfort. For example, you might take a cold shower, skip a meal, or go for a long walk in unpleasant weather. By exposing yourself to discomfort, you can prove to your inner critic that you can handle challenging situations, which in turn reduces its power over you. Stoic exercises also include mindful breathing, a simple yet powerful practice to quiet the mind. When you notice the inner critic taking over, take a few deep breaths, focusing on the sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. This can help center your thoughts and bring you back to the present moment. It's a quick and effective way to interrupt negative thought patterns and regain control. Another technique is the circle of influence, which involves creating a mental diagram of the things you can directly influence versus those you cannot. By visualizing this, you can more easily direct your energy towards actions and thoughts that are within your control. For example, if you're worried about a global issue, recognize that while you can't solve it entirely, you can take small actions that contribute to positive change. This can help you feel more empowered and less overwhelmed by your inner critic. One additional Stoic exercise is the art of indifference, also known as Stoic indifference. This practice involves training yourself to remain indifferent to things that are neither inherently good nor bad. For example, public opinion, material possessions, or even certain outcomes can be viewed with indifference. By practicing this, you can reduce the influence of your inner critic, which often thrives on attaching undue importance to external factors. When you master Stoic indifference, you become less susceptible to the ups and downs dictated by external circumstances. Finally, mentorship and role models play a vital role in Stoicism. The Stoics believed in learning from those who exemplify Stoic virtues. By identifying and emulating the qualities of a mentor or role model, you can develop the strength to counteract your inner critic. Think of someone you admire for their resilience, wisdom, or calm demeanor. Reflect on how they would handle the situations you're facing. This can provide valuable insights and strategies to silence your inner critic. Remember, the journey to silencing your inner critic and improving yourself is ongoing. Stoicism offers practical tools and exercises that, when practiced consistently, can help you cultivate a peaceful and resilient mind. By integrating these Stoic exercises into your daily life, you can gradually reduce the power of your inner critic and unlock your full potential. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoic exercises for self-improvement. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with these Stoic practices, so feel free to share your comments below. Until next time, keep striving for wisdom and inner peace.